Many people on TikTok ask me what to do when visiting Salem. So, things to do in Salem. Hi, my name is Ghoul Please, and you might know me from TikTok or Instagram. I actually have this pumpkin because I'm awkward and I don't know what to do with my hands. So the main reason I booked my very first trip is because Hocus Pocus is my all-time favorite movie, and a lot of it was filmed in Salem. This is Max and Danny's house, which is a private residence, so you'll have to admire this iconic gem from the street. This location is a bit of a far walk from downtown Salem, so it's best to drive if you're planning to visit. The house is right on the water next to Glendale Cove Beach, which is a super tiny beach, but there is a set of steps leading to the water if you want to enjoy the view. Next, we have Allison's house, which is actually called the Ropes Mansion. The Ropes Mansion is Salem's first house museum. You can tour the inside of this historic house on weekends after Memorial Day. And if you're visiting when the Ropes Mansion is open for house tours, I highly recommend going inside. The house is beautiful, and the history of the Ropes family, who once lived here, is fascinating. There's also a free public garden space in the backyard, which is open all year long, but it's especially beautiful in the summer. Another one of my favorite Hocus Pocus filming locations is Pioneer Village, which is America's first living history museum and the location where they filmed the opening scene for Hocus Pocus, Thackeray Binks' house. This next location is not in Salem, but it's a short drive away. The Old Burial Hill Cemetery in Marblehead is where Max meets Jay and Ice for the first time, and it's one of New England's oldest cemeteries. In the heart of Salem, you'll find the Old Town Hall, which you'll recognize from the Halloween party. The scene where Bette Midler sings, "I Put a Spell on You." I honestly love the Salem trolley, but I found it especially helpful during my first trip to Salem. The trolley takes you to most of Salem's main sites, and it gives you a general idea where everything is located, as well as an overview of Salem's history. I'll keep this section short, but if I could go back and tell young Ghoul Please a few tips when visiting Salem for the first time, I'd tell her to bring comfortable shoes and to book a hotel directly in Salem. You might be considering a cheaper hotel outside of Salem, but when I did this, I basically paid the difference in Ubers and parking. Also, driving and parking in Salem is nearly impossible in October, so keep that in mind when planning your trip. Okay, let's talk shopping. There are so many amazing shops in Salem. I can't get through all of them in this video. I gotta get my pumpkin, but I will mention some of my absolute favorites. I cannot go into Emporium 32 without spending money. It's physically impossible for me. You walk into the shop and you're instantly greeted with vintage vibes. So this was one of the first shops I fell in love with in Salem. Whenever I'm wearing jewelry, it's most likely from Emporium 32. Also, the owners are incredible. Emporium 32 has tons of stationery, and my goal in 2023 is to wear more hats. So, take my money, Emporium 32. You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't check out the Black Veil shop of Dreer and Wonder. So Black Veil is filled with macabre items. It's also a tattoo shop. I got work done by Ryan, and I have a bunch of tattoos, but this one is by far my favorite. Another shop on your list should be Crowhaven Corner, which is Salem's oldest witch shop. The owner of this shop, Lorelei, is a famous love clairvoyant. Something I love about Crowhaven Corner is that anything purchased behind the purple curtains is donated to Salem's animals in need. If you're looking to have a reading done in Salem, I highly recommend you go to Pentagram and get a reading from Leanne Marama, a psychic medium and co-owner of Pentagram. My reading was spot on and pretty personal. Leanne is outstanding. If you love all things makeup, you're definitely going to want to check out Coven. Coven is a goth glam boutique. It's filled with accessories, jewelry, and of course, makeup. They have a wide variety of special effects makeup, which, by the way, I've always been fascinated by. So if there's anyone on here who knows how to do special effects makeup, let me know in the comments. Okay, this one is for my Harry Potter fans. Why Not Wands? This wand shop is Salem's version of Ollivander's. Here you will find handmade wands, including the Elder Wand, and some Harry Potter related items. Broke my pumpkin. You broke my pumpkin. Definitely check out some of Salem's newer shops, like Blackcraft Cult, I Need This Bag, and Nocturne. You can't film inside the Coven's cottage, so you need to trust me and visit this metaphysical shop. Every time I'm here, I never want to leave, and I spend way too much money. Are you brave enough to stay at one of the most haunted hotels in America? What about room 325? The Hawthorne Hotel's most haunted room. I am not touching this door. I am not touching this door. There's no one else here. It very well could be just an old door. The Hawthorne is my go-to hotel when visiting Salem. And if you follow me on TikTok, you know I stay in haunted hotels frequently. This hotel is one of my favorites. but every time I stay here, I barely get sleep. I almost always wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Whatever spirits are lingering around the Hawthorne Hotel, I don't think are malicious at all. In fact, the energy is quite charming. Oh yeah, and sometimes the lights flicker occasionally. It's okay. We can talk about hauntings at the Hawthorne Hotel in another video, but I will say that the Hawthorne Hotel is centrally located. There's free parking, and the staff is super friendly. Yep, I'm in a new outfit. It's a new day. This is my first YouTube video, so we're gonna give her some grace, yeah? This is so awkward. There's so much to do and see in Salem. I could honestly make a whole video on just that alone. But the following things to do are some of my personal favorites. They're perfect for first-time visitors. So let's go on a few adventures. The broom, 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 broom. The broom making class at the witchery. You're just in time. We're taking a broom making class at the witchery. First, we need to pick out our broom handle.
Brooms do come in all different shapes and sizes.
Pick the handle that speaks to you most. Now it's time to pick some broom corn. I'm thinking black with a splash of red. Should I include dry arrangements? Yes, I should. 'Tis time. Don't forget, you can build your broom with intention. It's missing something. There are many accessories to choose from, like porcupine quills, deer toes, turtle shells, etching leather, crow feathers, and some charms. And I really love the witch's broom charm. Voila! I love her. The broom making class at the witchery is so much fun. I love my broom so much. I would take the class again. The bookbinding class, it's a little more difficult. I didn't think I was capable of making a book. But it is very rewarding once you're all finished. First, we have to pick out a cover for our book. Definitely red. Grab your tea-stained cover pages and get ready to make your very own spell book straight from Salem, or a book to keep your deepest, darkest secrets. Mark your holes, grab your awl, and puncture holes in the middle of each chapter. The hard part. Come, we bind! I missed a hole. I think it adds character. Decorating time. Pick the stencil that speaks to you most. I can't really tell if this is a raven or a crow, but I like it. My boyfriend's book, my mama's book, and my book. Now I need to figure out what to use it for. So I took the bookbinding class a few months ago. So I want to just check in and show you what I'm using my book for today. So obviously I'm not finished yet, but basically I'm taking memories of my spooky travels and scrapbooking, whether that's Polaroids from the Conjuring house or a photography, postcards. I haven't had any time to add anything recently, but I'm excited to add more and I wanted to share. It's time for a morning ritual. Modern Magic Academy is a new witch-owned education center where you can book classes in a safe and sacred space. This class is centered around healing the witch wound and addressing trauma that has been passed down through generations. Honestly, I think this space is Salem's hidden gem. The ritual was led by Nicole, a psychic medium who ends the experience with a tarot reading. And mine was eerily accurate. Nicole guides you throughout the class to set intentions and focus on healing, cleansing, and charging. Looking to show your inner witch? Look no further. Witch Picks is a studio where you can have your own witchy photo shoot. Naturally, I went with an all-black outfit, but Witch Picks has a large wardrobe to choose from if color is more your thing. Sometimes I travel alone, so at first I felt a little awkward to have a solo photo shoot, but the staff made me feel super comfortable. There are different sets you can select for your background, and the photographer will help you with poses. This beautiful structure is the setting of Nathaniel Hawthorne's novel, The House of Seven Gables, which is how this historic house gained its notoriety. You can take a guided tour inside and then enjoy the beautiful outdoor garden, which has a nice view of the Salem Harbor. It's no secret that Salem embraces Halloween all year long. You know what that means? You don't have to visit Salem in October. I get a lot of comments on my TikTok videos from people who weren't able to do a lot of things in Salem during October because it was too crowded. And you know what I tell them? Visit Salem in the summer or early fall. Anyway, this is the Halloween Museum. This experience doesn't require a lot of time and it's perfect for kids and adults like me who thrive off of Halloween nostalgia. I assume you'll like it too if you've made it this far in the video. You most likely won't learn much from this museum. It's mostly a visual experience, but there is some Halloween memorabilia, and it's definitely best when wearing your 3D glasses. The Salem Witch Board Museum is one of my personal favorites. Here, you will find a vast collection of Ouija boards displayed throughout the museum. I believe the Salem Witch Board Museum holds the largest collection of Ouija boards. I mean, there are many, many boards here. And the museum, which is self-guided, really showcases the history of talking boards and how they've transformed over time. They even have a seance room. Don't forget to say goodbye. Why is Salem, Massachusetts associated with witches? Many of the businesses you'll stumble upon in Salem will likely have something to do with witches in some way, shape, or form. It's important to understand how the Salem Witch Trials shaped Salem into what it is today. As a result of the Salem witchcraft hysteria in 1692, 19 innocent people were executed by hanging, and one person was even tortured and pressed to death. I won't dive deep into the history of the trials in this video. Instead, I'm going to focus on Salem today as we know it and suggest a few locations and sites relating to the trials that you can visit. The witch house is a Salem staple. While no witches lived in this house, it's the only original structure in Salem still standing with direct ties to the Salem witch trials. I always have a really hard time saying that. It was once home to Jonathan Corwin, who was one of the judges on the trials. You can purchase tickets to tour the inside of the witch house and get a glimpse of what life was like in the 1600s. The victims are memorialized in the heart of Salem at the Salem Witch Trials Memorial. There are 20 benches representing each of the victims. As you walk around the memorial and look at the benches, you'll notice each of the victims' names, how they were executed, and their execution date. During my very first trip to Salem, I thought the Witch Dungeon Museum was a very good first introduction to better understand the circumstances of 1692. The experience starts off with a performance, which is based off of transcripts from the trials, and afterwards you're led to the dungeon where you can see wax figures and the conditions for victims who were sent to jail. At the time of my first visit to Salem, I barely knew anything about the witch trials, so I personally felt this was a great starting place to do my own research. If you want the real deal, the Peabody Essex Museum has the largest collection of witch trial documents and a handful of items belonging to some of the people involved in the trials. Their collection isn't always on display, but definitely check to see if they have a witch trial related exhibition during your visit. It's 100% worth it. I feel like I'm supposed to say subscribe. Just subscribe. We're gonna make another video. We are, right? We are. Yeah. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to discuss the best places to eat in Salem. And that will include breakfast, lunch, dinner, sweet treats, coffee, snacks, all the food. Woo! Thank you so much for getting through this with me. This is my first ever YouTube video. Thank you to my mama, who I know has watched this at least 10 times already. Wait, so who am I missing?
The people.
The people. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much. It means more than I can express, so thank you.
Happy holidays.
Stay spooky.
That's it.
I think that's it. Thank you.